If you haven't checked your portfolio recently, you missed the massive tear US operators went on approaching Friday's close. MSOS up 12%, Cresco 9, CURA 11, GTI almost 13, and TRUL a monster 15%. As an investor, it was certainly a nice surprise and delight. We'll talk about what caused it, what we as investors should take away from it, and very importantly, why it's unsustainable. Here's what happened. On Friday, news broke of a draft legislation named the States Reform Act being circulated on the Hill by Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Let's consider 3 things about that sentence. 1. The bill itself. Here are the highlights of the States Reform Act. Deschedules cannabis and treats it similarly to alcohol. Places an age limit of 21 for recreational. Places a 3 3/4 excise tax on sales. Raw cannabis will be considered an agricultural commodity like other crops. Assigns regulatory authorities and promotes some social equity components. 2. It's coming from the House of Representatives, the place where Democrats hold a majority and is opposite the Senate. You know, the place where the Senate Majority Leader has his own agenda and makes the decisions on which bills make it to the Senate floor to be voted on. 3. Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina, a freshman Republican that's been on the job since January 3rd of this year. So let's say it again. A competing draft bill that's being circulated for feedback from a freshman Republican representative moved the market 10%. As frustratingly irrational that is, considering its likelihood of actually going anywhere, that's what happened. I don't know about you. It's frustrating to me because I invest based on rational, first principle, fundamental analysis, but the market, and ergo people, aren't always rational. But this is what happened. We have to accept reality. What should we take away from it? Rumors of the States Reform Act come to light and we go up 10%. The long-awaited CAOA is announced as a draft and we tumble downward. The MORE Act is floated and we see spikes. Safe banking is announced as an amendment to the NDAA and we rally back up. And no material progress on any of this whatsoever has led to 9 months of decline in share prices, despite each of the operators we cover on this show strengthening their earning power and financial position in that time. Again, we have to live in reality. And the reality I'm accepting is that right now, in 2021, this sector is being driven not on fundamentals, but on pure sentiment that is living and dying on a government policy catalyst. And this is unsustainable. Once people wake up to the harsh, bright light of reality, to something we keep talking about here when we analyze government policy in states like New York, New Jersey, and California, government policy is not a binary switch. Flipping it will not lead to a prosperous sector and prosperous portfolios for all of us. When this meets the same fate as all those other bills, let's take a look at what happened in Canada. The sector was high on the news of federal legalization. And then what followed was the reality of what businesses are actually valued on. Would government reform help this sector? Yes, absolutely. But we need to stop pinning our emotions and investing decisions on it. One rumor and we clamor to buy, another and we clamor to sell, and our mood and emotions go along for the ride. Don't be a lemming. Take a cue from the leaders of this industry, keep a cool head, and you're focused on the things that matter. Because the cornerstone of your conviction in this sector and these companies isn't rumors and news. It's the recognition of this once-in-a-lifetime generational wealth opportunity of investing in undervalued businesses in a very large industry whose intrinsic value will be recognized over time. As the dominoes of legalization continue to fall, as existing markets scale and convert illicit sales to revenue, as government policies actually change to improve business models, improve margins, reduce perceived risk, and bring in institutional investors hungry for yield. As these companies continue to grow with the market and flourish into large, profitable companies. I hope you hear this with the intention it was said with, not as an attempt to dampen the mood, but an attempt to be the voice of reason and rationality. Thank you for listening, and I hope to talk to you soon.